So on 5th of May, my wife and I decided to climb Mount Kinabalu. So we started the walk from the foothill to the base camp. We arrived on the 5th at 5:30 p.m. and then, as usual, you know the routine, right? We continued the climb from the base camp to the peak the next day at, not too late, but 2 a.m. Right? Now, so I'm going to start with a few learning points just to underscore the few awakenings which you're not more familiar with. I want you to be aware of that, especially when I see a diverse crowd of mainly gender. And it's important for you to know, and taking a cue from what you said, it's important to know what you don't like as well. Right? So the first learning point was, studies have shown, and over 22 years of experience interviewing candidates and working with clients, male and female, studies have shown men will raise their hands for a promotion or a challenge even if they meet 6 out of 10 of criteria. Women will only raise their hand if they meet 10 out of 10. How I got into this climb is that while doing one of my Zoom calls at night, my wife finished her Zoom calls. I vaguely remember we spoke about climbing mountains. So she came and she interrupted and she did like this and so I was busy at it. So after my call, I came down and I asked, so all okay, business ready here? So confirm, May 4th. What? Climbing mountains. Say, what? Who told you that? I came, I said, me. He said, okay. So, done. Right? So trust your wife's decision. So we decided to go for it, right? Now, so men being men, both of us go to the gym every day. We have different programs. So I thought, okay, I never took it seriously. Then as the clock ticked, January, February, March, April, then I started talking to friends, what do you all do? They climb all the mountains, they did all their workouts. I was cool. Now, that's one learning, right? So I said race even though I'm not ready. My wife was like really going for it. And then she was asking more detailed questions. I was just asking big questions. So I think I can do it. My wife wants to be perfect, right? Second learning. Now, 2 weeks to the deadline, my wife started watching videos online. So when I come back to the gym, that's when she goes to the gym. And I noticed that her face was down in the morning after a coffee. Was stressed and not dressed up for the gym. Hey, what about you? Oh, no mood. Why? She started scrolling for videos of Mount Kinabalu, right? TikToks, people's experiences, and she looked and she looked, and I was busy, so I get really good with work. Then she said, Johnny, it's very tough, I'm not thinking twice whether to go. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. Or you've been working on it every day. I'm not sure I'm ready for it. If I don't go, would you go? Now, I was like, chill, darling, chill. Don't be, too worked out. Now, I started watching the video 3 days before, right? Now, here's the second difference, right? So when I was watching the video after my gym, I sat down having coffee and I was scrolling. She said, hey, the same video I'm watching. I said, okay. So I was watching the same video that she was watching in TikTok. And you search Kinabalu, the ranking, the same video, same music background and so on. Right? But the difference I noticed was when she watched that video, the same video, she was looking from a lens of why I can't do it. Lens of fear, lens of self-doubt, lens of self-limiting belief, lens of I'm not good enough. And that's how women are wired. Now, when I was watching the lens of video, the same video, exact video, I was looking at, okay, so how can I do it? How are they doing it? Okay, how are they doing it? I was never scared. The same video, right? Now, there's a study that shows that. So men are confident, but when they go to the real situation, they people are perfect, to the point, right? Perfect. So that is second learning. Third learning was as you climb, right? So we are told, take your own time, take your own pace, don't rush, don't follow others, let them go, you take your own time. So we all went, and this timeline, we all went. So I thought my wife would be fine, right? Then I noticed that, hey, she's nowhere inside. And the guide said that I think she's struggling, I'll go and have a look. And sure enough, she had headache, which are early signs of AMS, right? Motion sickness. So the guide started following her, right? So I was thankful that I didn't suffer from that. So by the time we reached the base camp, she was giddy and so on, and we slept, we couldn't sleep. And I was worried about, can she sustain the next day's climb, right? Thankfully, she slept through it, and next day she was ready to climb. So this time I told myself, this is not competition, it's not about who is going to reach first. I also went with my brother and his wife and my nephew, right? And the group. This time I'm going to follow her, I don't care, right? So if you've been to Kinabalu at 2 a.m. and you start ascending, it's a checkpoint. You're given 2 hours. If you're late, you ask to turn back, do back. you go back, right? So that's the first gap. So you got to reach the checkpoint in 2 hours. So what I did was, this time I followed her. I didn't allow her to carry a bag, so I carried my bag. And I was watching her footsteps and I was guiding her. So there's no rush, take her own time. Right? And I noticed there's some improvements she made. That's why she was less tired. She was listening to me more. Her learning was this, the next learning. Women are more concerned about what other people think about them. Yeah, they seek validation. When you have an idea, you want someone to say perfect, let's go for it. Right? When you bounce off a challenge, you want someone to validate it. But I think the other way around. If you have confidence in yourself, you have all the skills, just get opinion to support. You don't need a validation. Right? So she was more concerned about when she climbed the day before. She was slow because, she struggled because, I'll be left behind, my friends are all up there, what will my group think about me? So this time I said, forget about the group, it's just me and you. And we reached the checkpoint even before that timeline, right? And we made it to the peak at the end. Now, so I spoke highly about myself, right? Now, this is a real story. Now, on the other hand, it's for men. On the other hand, right at the peak, 100 meters before the peak, I was so tired, right? And our guide, they were more interested coming back soon. They said, hey, you're already here, no point, there's no time to turn back. You will still get a certificate. And they told my wife, you look wobbly, you might even fall later when you come down. My wife said, no, I'm going to go up. But I was like, really can't take it. And so I sat down and said, no, I can't take it. But she said, I'm going for it. Right? So when she said, I'm going for it, it's a reverse now. I'm going for it. I said, I'll follow you, right? Only because I know that, yes, out of your desperation, go up. But coming down is not easy. It's all large rocks, It looks like 100 meters, but you could really navigate large rocks. So we managed to go up, and I actually rushed after her, not because of my tiredness or what. I was concerned about her coming down. So in other words, for people like us who are always confident, we must be confident yet be open to fear, be open to being wrong, be open to being challenged. So whether men or women, as good leaders, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to make mistakes, because the current new generation, they're smart kids. All our nephews, nieces, they're all smarter than us, they learn very fast. So you got to be open to them, you can't shut them down. Right? Yeah, so this is a story that we should share. It encapsulates the working world. As a leader, people are wired differently, by gender, by generation, by background. Right? So yeah, so the topic is nailing the job that you want. It's very clear because I need to make a stress here. And please do follow me on my LinkedIn. I write a lot of stories. And the recent story I wrote was, people always call me for a job for next day. They're desperate, something happened in office, they call me today. I just had a call just now, someone recommended you, I'm a CFO, I need a new job. It doesn't work that way. Now what happens is that when you take a path, you will end up taking any job that comes along the way, and that's when you will have issues like Melissa. Good job, maybe good money, then culture sucks. Team lousy, right? Or good money, but the job is boring. I've already done it 10 years ago, right? So you got to plan for a job change, and that's why I said nailing the job that you want, not the job that comes to you. Right? There's a difference in there. It's a quick overview. I think you might remember last year. Yeah. So while I'm into executive search, I've got interest in many areas. And especially, I love to bring up the best in people. In 2021, we won the United Nations Women Asia Pacific Award for Gender Responsive Marketplace. I like to write a lot of papers, research, I speak to people, interview. So that's my background. Now, I improved this for today's talk. Now, so when you complete this session, hopefully, these are the comments I got from previous participants, from previous engagements. Some said they did better in the interviews, they had better confidence. Some said, they didn't get another job, but within the company they maneuvered and found a better job. Because culture is great, boss is great, why leave? Right? So I always request, why leave? If you can maneuver, you can ask for a transfer in another division. Right? So why take a risk in another company? I love the idea of me time, so I will tell you about me time later. Self-reflection. Some say that they've engaged international career coaches, but they like the approach that I do. So what all this means is, now most of us tend to write CVs based on Google samples, right? And then we borrow from friends, we copy and paste, we think it's fine. But what happens is, there are 40 of you all your CV sounds the same, all your CV looks the same. How to compete? And that's very common, right? So these comments came about because they all did their me time and they all had their own unique strengths and qualities that is truly them. And that will come through the me time, the reflection. So when I say Google CVs, I'm known for my own word creation. I call it Googleable terms. So when I say Googleable terms, you're familiar with personal qualities, right? Teamwork, team player, leader, very gentle, honest, integrity, very gentle. So how do you stand out from the rest, right? But your personal qualities, when you do your reflection, my self-reflection, it can be breaking down barriers. It can be a phrase. Be bold. It doesn't have to be Googleable qualities that you always see, right? Team player, coach, leader. It doesn't say much, right? But it can be a phrase, breaking down barriers, collaborating with different teams, right? Those are strengths, examples, right? You'll see more of that later. Before I proceed, any one of you brought CVs for my review to get a check? Feel free so that I can end earlier and do a one-on-one. Good, thanks. But while I'm speaking, I'll be sharing some more tips. So the challenges in getting the job that you want, bear in mind, there are too many applicants, the marketplace is crowded, right? When you look at jobs on LinkedIn, we used to advertise those days, but now everyone advertises. In LinkedIn, whenever a job is posted, there are 400 to 500 applications. Unless the recruiter is your son or daughter, you think they care to go by page. I want to find the best candidate. No. The reality is they're all busy. They look at the first page, whoever they see, done. So if you're first to apply, you'll be at the back, no one will see you. So this is a real hard truth. The marketplace is crowded, right? Not having the rich network, so you just apply, you don't know people in the market. So example, if you're applying to Maxis, good to know a friend in Maxis, ask what's happening in Maxis. Back to Melissa's question, always good to ask about culture. Many of us, we are used to going for an interview where it's a one-way interview. You know, at the end when they ask you, do you have any questions to ask? It's not a time for you to switch off your engine. That's when you ask them questions. That's when you ask about teamwork. Right? Of course, they will give you all the nice answers, but you must know how to challenge them, right? So the questions part at the end of the interview is when you ask them questions back. It's not that switch off engine, when can I hear from you? What's the pay? Right? You can ask them questions. Okay, so I love this, right? You remember seeing this last year, right? So the job that you want. So there are many Ikigai material online. You can Google it, right? I shamelessly just took this from Toronto Startup article. It's the best explanation. So you have this sense of achievement when you get paid to do what you love to do. Ultimately, is that, right? Because you may be an accountant, but you love to cook at home. So it's not really an Ikigai. You're doing accounting work, but you love to come back home and cook. That's where you get your mojo moment, like your aha moment. So it's a profession when what you're good at is also what you're passionate about. What you love is your passion and the mission together. What the world needs is mission, like today you're in this group in your life. Mission and vocation. But ideally, Ikigai is when you get paid for what you love to do, you get satisfaction, right? Full satisfaction, excitement, and there's no sense of emptiness, right? So to give you an idea, it's 7:30, right? So I started my day today at 8 a.m. Right? And today we launched our women leadership program with a client of mine until 11. Then 11 to 1 I had lunch, 1 to 2 another meeting. It's straight, right? So you might be asking, what is my motivation to come today at 7 to 8? Right? So my motivation is, yes, what pays me my bills is my recruitment. But really what keeps me awake and I get up, jump from the bed and go to work is enabling the best in people. And my clients and friends have asked me, right, so all these talks that they do, late night, go up session, all this social work, do you get paid? I said, no. But I tell you this, right? There are many times, one instance is, I was tapped on the shoulder in a 1,000 crowded conference. Someone tapped me at the back, and she said, Raj, Thanks for your coaching. She's running a consulting firm. Thanks for your coaching. I'm getting a lot of inquiries. Right? Now, I did out of passion because I wanted to help her. We lost touch. I don't expect her to report that to me. But when I heard that she's earning money and she's growing a thriving business, that gives me satisfaction. So, what pays me 9 to 5 is recruitment, but the rest, if you see around it, how I've benefited is that I do less business development. Not that I'm lazy. By doing all this, I realized that I've created a lot of goodwill in the market. Right? You build your trust, you build your reputation. So when my team does BD, I'm sure they Google synergy and find my name and say, oh, okay, I know Raj. Right? So your job is not about just doing what you're paid for, it's going beyond what you're passionate about, what you're fully passionate about. Right? So before you even start looking for a job, you ask yourself a few questions. If today you're in this current company, if you don't hate a job, what makes you jump off your bed at 8 a.m. to go to work? There's something there. So if you ask me, in my recruitment world, you might think that what makes me jump off my bed is closing a deal, getting money. No, I'm bored. 22 years, not bored getting money, I love money. But 22 years, what I really love is a tough time is going through that business and they want a good CEO. I find a good CEO. How many CEOs want to join a travel business? Right? So I find a good CEO, I coach him, he joins and he turns on the business and the board calls me 1 year later, Raj, your guy did a good job. That to me is exciting. The money is being paid at the end. Right? But if you go for a job because of the money, I beg you, money is forgotten because the salary goes to your bank, right? You're not going to wake up every month, yes, 10,000, my 10,000 every month. No, every month like, oh shit, my team player didn't give my article on time. So the salary is forgotten, it's all in the bank, right? So, but if you enjoy doing what you're doing, you're more resilient, right? A team worker who doesn't give articles, okay, fine, you know how to get it done, right? So this is very important even before you look for a job. Don't blindly look for a job. So, resume. As I run through the tips, have a look at resume if you have a copy, if you have a strong memory, try and recollect. Times have changed. I'm sure you're all in the same age group, I don't pretend to be young. But 20 years ago, our CV looks very different. Times New Roman, personal information, address, gender, address, gender, how many kids. Some of you mentioned how many kids, and how many boys, how many girls. That's the old CV. Nowadays, personal information, right, at the bottom. So, look at resume. If half your resume is taken up by personal information and education, is the reverse now. Your resume is your marketing tool. Your first 1/3 of your resume is a nice photo of yours, professional photo, not while driving. Professional photo with an executive summary of years of experience, which industries, what are your areas of expertise, what are your strongest qualities. I'll come to that later. One paragraph. Because there's a study done, and I've done that myself. We get a lot of CVs every day, through WhatsApp, through LinkedIn, through emails. And there's a study done. Do you know how long would a CEO spend reading a CV before calling you for interview? Some guesses.
5 minutes.
Good. 2 minutes. Okay. I think you all have the laziest CEOs. Studies have shown CEOs take 10 seconds.
Oh my word.
That's a real truth. And I take 6 seconds. But I could browse too fast. I mean, CEOs we hire every day. So 10 seconds is how much they take to decide whether to even flip next page or continue reading. That is why your first half is very, very important. Not your photo. I mean, photo is just to make it marketing. Yeah, so don't put your best photo, but nothing there. They won't take it. Your executive summary is very important. So it's similar to when I made you today, how you introduce yourself. It's very brief, straight to point to attract attention. And that's where your me time, your self-reflection will help you pluck out the best of you, not a generic 25 years in accounting. I rather put there 25 years leading a finance department, managing a P&L of 200 million with net profit of year-on-year of 30%. So you see, outcome-based. So try and describe your executive summary outcome-based, not a 25 years experience in finance. It's too general. So 100 finance managers will say the same thing. How do you stand out? Right? So, it's your marketing tool. It's no more a resume. So it doesn't have to be Times New Roman, very uncle font. Now you can even use calligraphy. Yeah, remember those days when Times New Roman? Don't agree. It's like he's pretending he's young.
I don't like Times New Roman.
So fast. So you can use Arial, calligraphy, and so on. I've got warning in 5 minutes. Yeah, but I spoke to Shireen. I will cut short if there are more CVs, but since I want 2 or 3 CVs, I'll take the number. So, okay, and then, so that the half page is what I call your prime real estate. So if your real estate is not attractive, nobody will stop. Now, third point is keep it between 2 to 4 pages. It's another question whether, what's the right size of a resume? 2 pages, 3 pages? No. I would suggest keep it to 4 pages and then you can cut down. I'm worried when you do 2 pages, you might even omit important information. Forget about the length first. To me, no point having 4 pages but it doesn't say much. No point having 2 pages, it doesn't say much. But I want 2 or 3 or 4 pages, but you are saying a lot of outcomes. If there are powerful outcomes, then it's worth it. So don't be driven by the 4 pages. Write first and then cut down. Right? Now, speak in the language of the audience, not yours. What that means is we are so used to writing in ourselves. So you might catch yourself talking to, in a wedding. Oh, so what do you do? I'm a finance manager. So what do you do? You speak in your language. I handle investments. I do this credit account, debit account, You think uncle understand all that? But uncle understand when I say I helped the company save 2 million last month by cutting operations. Oh, okay. Do you understand that? So when I say in your own language, we are also used to speaking in my own language. So if I'm a recruiter, I speak in my language. I talk about talent pool, filtering, qualifications, right? You may not know why I'm doing that, but I think I assume you know. So you must speak to a third party in a way that they must understand what you're doing. Therefore, always helps to describe the outcome instead of what you do. Do you see the difference? You understand? I see that. Please feel free to ask. So instead of describing your role, describe the outcome. Okay. So in other words, number 5 is articulate skills and value that we bring to the board. Like I said, like managing finance for company. Okay. So in other words, what does that mean to me? Okay, manage the finance in the finance function in such a way that I streamline operations, resulting in 500,000 savings every month. Right. So it's always about growth, savings, profits. If you do have experience, even in one country outside Malaysia, it's good to mention that, avoid very broad statements involved in strategy planning. Sexy, cool, huh? But be more specific, right? Involved in strategy planning of the company's direction post-pandemic in developing countries. Be more specific, but strategy is so broad, right? Why it's important to specify that is, there are also some people who love to use bombastic words to look good. So again, unfortunately, while you are genuine, your CV gets lost because it sounds similar to others. So when you say strategy planning, be more specific, right? Use benefit statement versus task, benefits and outcome, right? Use action verbs, not versus, action verse. So what I'm trying to say is be more powerful in terms of saying that, lead audit in the business. I've done studies where women tend to undersell themselves. They say support the audit function. So support what? Carry files. So I always ask finance manager, support, so what? You carry files? Actually, no, I challenge them. No, actually, I plan the whole thing. Then say plan, no. Don't say support. Assist, support, right? So use words like lead, plan, right? Give direction, right? Show statistics, quantifiable benefits. 8 common mistakes. Okay, so if you're a fresh graduate, if you graduated like last year, then you can use career objective. But I doubt you all graduated last year. So you can say executive summary, right? Instead of list of responsibilities, you give contribution to the business, the outcome, right? Your language versus their perspective. Put in more relevant achievements. If finance, give more finance achievements. Don't worry about fanciful fonts. It's more of impactful points. Lack ownership, yes. When I say lack ownership, if you are the leader, if you achieved it, say it. I'm sorry, I'm not blaming women, but helping you all see that. Women tend to give credit to others. My team did it. So you're the leader, no, my team. So, whereas men are more confident. on the borderline of bragging but also confident, right? Women on the other hand, they are underselling, don't want to be seen as bragging. But sorry, then you get the job. But you must know, okay, if you're borderline is like together with the team, I led the audit function. Right? So you still have some ownership, but you give credit to the team. Missing out external, okay. So please make sure that all your voluntary work, like with this group, it should be in your CV, because a lot of organizations are hoping for talent who are involved outside also voluntary work, because it shows that you know the world, not just your work. You're helping others. So it's good to mention the CV. Yeah, grammar typo mistakes. So when you look at a CV, you ask yourself, would a reader who's not from my industry understand what I wrote about I meant? Have I shared my biggest accomplishments? So when I say about me time, what I'm asking you to do is not tonight, right? Writing resume takes time. Don't rush. So it's career planning. So on a weekend, have a me time. Lock yourself away from children, your grandchildren. Nothing, right? Your grandchildren going to go. But you go to the balcony. When I say me time, have your own yamcha or wine, and really ask yourself in the last 10 years, what were your achievements? Really, put a CV aside. Start from scratch. From your achievements, then you ask yourself, what expertise I brought here? Cost cutting, right? Very specific expertise. So when you write a resume, right, Daniel brings 10 years of experience in finance, specifically in cost cutting. It's very specific. So when the CEO reads, cost cutting, right? So, and then, as every achievement, you ask yourself, what are the expertise you brought? Cost cutting, okay. There's expertise. Next, in that achievement, what are the strengths you brought? Breaking down numbers. Strengths, right? So expertise are more domain, qualities are your strengths, breaking down numbers, curious, challenging status quo. Right? Then weakness. Okay, weakness is good for you to know in your achievement, not to openly tell the interviewer your weakness, but it's for you to know your weakness. Because in some interviews, I still ask CEOs your weakness. And many CEOs say that, actually no, okay, I'm good. I'm worried about them, because those CEOs who say that I don't see any weakness, they're ego. People do have weakness, so it's good for you to have your self-aware. You must know areas that you need help, not weakness. Right? So be ready that some interviewers are still traditional, they'll ask you for weakness. Right? And you must have one or two answers. Right? But also, weakness helps when you get a new job interview. You can ask them, hey, does this job involve team? Who's the team? Or then you can sense that there's no teamwork. So these are sample CVs. So from Google, right? So I can share easily. So can you see there's no personal information, very straightforward. Your name with nice font, chunky, nice font, can be blue, right? So safest color is blue or black. So don't try colorful stuff. And then you have your headlines. So I like headlines. So if your area of expertise, you can identify three, like strategic planning, cost cutting, business restructuring. So who is Shireen? Shireen, 10 years experience pharmaceutical, regulatory framework, medical products, of three areas, headlines, right? And then you identify your executive summary. Can you see? There are more examples. So this is how new resumes look like. No more personal information. Right? So personal information, education, last page. In fact, personal information I don't even need now. Who cares where you live? Because now you work from home. Those days they want to know where you live because, how long you take the bus and so on. Now you're right. Nobody cares. So now the only personal information I have is a footnote, my email, my phone number. Who cares how many kids you have? Those days, yes, very, very operational. Right? And then, when I mentioned about your accomplishments, you identify expertise, qualities, those come under core competencies. You can put the rest in there. Yeah, so a good flow, name as a header, pick three best expertise headlines. Your summary, your expertise is a flow, right? Generally, yeah, this is how it looks like. So recommended, your full name can be Arial, 18, bold, or blue or black. Your area expertise slightly smaller, can be 16 or 14. Your headline, then your executive summary. So this is roughly how it looks like. So don't use the word career objective, it's more executive summary. Yeah, so it's just a repeat. So value that you bring to the company, it should include leadership, mentoring. These are for board positions, right? You can handle profit and loss. Yeah, it's just a repeat, but you got to redo self-reflection, look at your achievements, under each achievement, what are your expertise, what are your qualities to report. And you see, right, as you go down the achievements, you will see the real you, and then that's how you stand out from the rest. Right? You see what is unique about you. Because you see a pattern emerging as you go down. Oh, okay, cost cutting. So you know that you cost cutting. The reason being, during an interview, I'll say, oh, Shireen, so you mentioned about cost cutting. Tell me the most recent one. So you don't bullshit, because you're writing based on your achievements. And when you describe it, it comes from your heart. So they know Shireen is a cost cutting expert. Whereas most finance or HR or any function, because they share very generic expertise, they're not able to really understand what have you done. Right? So you must spend time during your me time to reflect on your achievements, identify your expertise, identify your strengths, your qualities, your weakness, and just write something. Yeah, so that's how it goes. There you go. You can take a photo of this. This is a sample of 3 lines, but you write down top bottom, and then parallel, right? For this achievement, what are the areas 1 to 5? Strengths 1 to 5, areas of development or weakness, and enjoy most. What do you enjoy most, right? And you see, as you write downwards, there are 3 to 5 that will keep on emerging, and those are very unique for you. You try it out. So I call it the unique value proposition. Yep. Next is interviews, right? So whether in your resume or the way you interview, again, Malaysians, as you can see, me in front of you with the mic, I can talk. Malaysians, Asians, we are very relationship based, we love to talk. So in interviews, we tend to talk, but we don't give the answer. You see the difference? A question is being answered, replied, but there's no answer. The difference is you're not prepared. So you're just answering the question. The danger is then you're not structured. You end up talking, but you miss the point. So how to be structured is to follow the STAR format. If you don't understand this, don't worry. It can be found in Google. There are many STAR interview techniques. So to structure your answers is simple. Situation. What is it about? When that happened? Is this a background? T is task. What has to be done? A is very important. So you, as the manager, what specific actions you took, and R is finally the ribbon on the gift. What's the outcome? So it can be 1 paragraph when you write your resume. When they ask you to interview, the same thing they answer in that format. Why people tend to blabber is because they want to counting everything in one go. They ask question, bang, answer question, bang. That's when you realize some of the interviews you go, after you answer the question, they never ask you more questions. So when you ask candidates, so how's the interview? Oh, very good. I answer all the questions. Okay. What else they ask? Nothing. I think they answer. I call the client, hey, how's the interview? Hey, Raj, the guy talked, I cannot ask questions. The other way around. The guy thought he did very well, but he spoke too much. They lost focus, they didn't ask questions. Right? In other words, they're not structured, they went all over the place. So you're not expected to give a full answer there. You're expected to tease them with some key pointers to make them ask you more questions. So don't worry, you don't have to cover everything. You structure it in such a way that it's 100 words, roughly 2 minutes. Right? And how to structure it is situation, what is it about? When was it? Task, what has to be done? A, what did he actually do? And finally, the result. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be fanciful, you don't need flowery words, flowery fonts, very formal, simple formatting, lots of data, especially if you're in finance, HR, sales, people love numbers. How many percent growth, how many percent cost improvements? Lots of benefit selling. That's missing in many resumes. Lots of benefit selling. So benefit selling is, how did you benefit the company? Lack of ownership. Don't use safe words, support, assisted. Take some ownership, right? Have some oomph in your resume. Lack of ownership. Sorry, I'm not saying don't be humble, but being too humble doesn't help you also. And don't direct the effort to others. Instead of you saying that I led the team, you say, oh, the team did the job. Done. Oh, okay, done. Yes. Any questions?